Here are some more examples of the quadratic formula. So again, remember this equals y, but if I make it equal to 0, what I'm really finding are the x-intercepts or the roots. So remember the quadratic formula is the opposite of b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So in this case, my a is just 1, my b value is positive 4, and my c value is positive 2. So I'm just going to plug those in for the letters here, and I'm going to put them in parentheses. So I have the opposite of b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a, which is 1, times c, which is 2, all over 2a, which again is 1. Now if I do the math of this, the opposite of 4 is negative 4 plus or minus. On the inside I have 4 squared is 16 minus 4 times a times c. Well, 4 times 1 times 2 is 8. And then 2 times 1 is 2. Now 16 minus 8 is 8. So what I like to do here then is I want to go ahead and simplify this some more. So if I take the radical and reduce it, square root of 8 is the same thing as saying 2 radical 2. So now I can divide all these by 2 and make this even more simplified. So it would be negative 2 plus or minus radical 2 would be my exact answer. Now sometimes this happens just like when we solve other quadratics. You don't always get a whole number. So if I was going to do an approximate answer, I would say this is like saying negative 2. The square root of 2 is about 1.41, and that would do negative 2 minus 1.41. So as approximate answers, if I did this, I'd have 0 or negative 0.59, because negative 2 plus 1.41 is negative 0.59. And then if I did this one, I'd have negative 3.41. So those would be my answers for x approximately for this question. My second example is, again, I have an a value of 2, a b value of 7, and a c value of 6. So if I do the opposite of b, so the opposite of 7, plus or minus the b squared, which would be 7 squared minus 4 times a times c, all over 2a. And again, if I do the math, negative 7 plus or minus 7 squared is 49. Negative 4 times 2 is negative 8 times 6 is negative 48. And then 2 times 2 is 4. So then 49 minus 48 is 1, which is always nice because that's going to be a perfect square. So the square root of 1 is 1. So now I have negative 7 plus or minus 1 over 4. So negative 7 plus 1 is negative 6 divided by 4 is going to be negative 1.5. That's one of my answers. And then if I do negative 7 minus 1, that's negative 8 over 4, which is negative 2. So my two solutions for this are going to be negative 1.5 and negative 2.